Thank you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. We have two special guests in the studio today. First, we will talk to Cape Girardeau Public School District Superintendent Dr. Neil Glass. Then we will talk to the district's athletic director, Tyson Moyers. That's all ahead next on Cape Chronicle.
Every day,
millions of people
are connecting.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
Welcome to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. Dr. Neil Glass has been the superintendent for Cape Public Schools since 2017. In 2020, he was named the Missouri Association of School Administrators' new Superintendent of the Year for the Southeast District. This school year will be Glass's final year with the district. Dr. Glass?
Thanks for having me, Mike.
It's good to see you.
It's great to be here.
We're here on a beautiful spring day, and boy, it's kind of hard to believe when you look at the calendar that the school year is really kind of almost over.
It isn't incredible. It's amazing that we start the school year and we head to Christmas. We have these milestones, and all of a sudden graduation's here and we're out of school. It's just like clockwork, and it's just amazing. We've had a great year. I'm happy, and I know the faculty and staff are excited to see what this crop of students will do out in the real world.
Does it get quicker and quicker every year?
It does. As a matter of fact, it does. There's just so much preparation that goes into a school year, but once all that preparation is done, it seems just to fly by, and it's just an exciting feeling.
You mentioned the crop of the seniors going out into school or work or whatever their endeavors might be, and I know that there are a variety of industries that are extremely important to Cape Girardeau, to Southeast Missouri, but the Cape Public Schools and educating the young people, can't really think of anything more important to lead the future.
Absolutely, and you bring up a good point. We listen to our area businesses and ask them what they're looking for, what do they need, what are the skills that our students need to have in order to be successful out there in their businesses, and then we try to equip those students with those skills, and we try to keep them at home the best we can. We know some students are going to go off and make their own way, but we hear the cry for local businesses and saying we need to grow our own talent because there's a shortage here, and we're trying to fulfill that shortage. Between us and Jackson, we've got close to 10,000 students, and a lot of those students can stay right here as long as they can find good jobs. And with the help of the area industries and businesses, we can make that partnership happen. We're excited. One of the things that we've been focused on the last several years is creating pathways for students. Whether a student wants to come out with a certificate, or whether they want to go into a 2-year or a 4-year institution, the sky's the limit. And so we want to make sure that these kids have the proper exposure to what's out there, what they need for that what they need for that career. It may not always be a 4-year degree. It may not be a 2-year degree. It may just be a certificate. So why rack up the student debt if you just need a certificate? On the other hand, a 4-year degree can lead to bigger and better things. So we want to make sure our students are exposed to all that.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, with talking with you, we're on the chamber board together, and you mentioned that the cry from the local businesses of trying to keep our people here, and I know it's easier said than done.
It is.
But I would imagine with the pathways that you have outlined there, that's got to make that student experience so fulfilling. I would imagine that maybe there's times when a student they're not sure where they fit in,
right?
And what the future holds for them. But knowing that, hey, it's not a one size fit all. There's plenty of ways for you to move beyond these doorways and be a successful citizen, contributing citizen in Southeast Missouri, wherever you may decide to go.
And what the big part of the superintendent job is to go out and make those connections with the chamber, like you said, and meet with those business partners and actually understand what they're looking for. That way I can go back and communicate or invite that business into our career fairs or guest speakers or whatever, in order to make sure that that student hears that and is exposed to that and sees the potential that's right here in Cape Girardeau or in this region.
Do you think it's at an all-time kind of high as far as hearing that cry from businesses, or is it just we're paying a little more attention to it?
You know, I'm in tune with it more so now than ever. I really do hear that the talent is needed. There's a shortage, and for whatever reason, I don't know what caused it, why there's this shortage, but all of a sudden there's a shortage, and we've got to figure out a way here locally to fill that gap.
So what are some of those things that you guys have been doing over the last few years to kind of open up the doors, so to speak, for some of the students?
We've been trying. We've actually went down into the junior high and exposed them to like what the Career and Technology Center has to offer. They offer so many things, and that's one of the hidden gems right here in Southeast Missouri.
Absolutely.
If you haven't visited the Career and Technology Center, you need to do so, because they offer everything. They've got the certificates for almost anything that you want to go into. And you got the allied health, all of that. You got the welding, the construction trades. You got the electrical. You got software design, graphic design. STEM areas out there. I mean, there's so much out there. Video broadcasting, as a matter of fact, is out there too. Mr. McWilson. We've got so many things to offer, and so we've been really trying to hammer home with our students what we have to offer here at Cape Schools. Beyond the traditional classrooms, we also have all these areas of technical training.
And I would imagine that kind of has to challenge you and the staff and the district to look at areas that maybe you didn't know what coding was or how it worked. But hey, this is a viable career path for somebody, and we got to figure out what it is.
That's right, and especially for those of us that are seasoned veterans, let's just put it that way. Yeah. We didn't grow up with a lot of this stuff, so we've got to constantly be evolving and learning as we go, so we can communicate that to our students. Lots of times, as you well know, they know a lot more than what we do. We just got to kind of direct them and facilitate it and get them on the right track. I
know that sometimes being seasoned, you don't understand why maybe someone's always on their phone or their mobile device or whatever the case is. But I mean, that's the future to a degree, and being able to understand those things is the future. So you kind of got to get in there and work with that and make it applicable for what is now.
And that's true. We've struggled with that. What's a healthy consumption of this technology and what's not, and going one-to-one devices early on in my career, and then morphing into more and more of that where it's all online, and then fighting with the cell phones in the classrooms. But we know that's I can't go a day without my cell phone either. So we know that that's an integral part of what these students are going to be exposed to out in the real world.
Well, we have luckily we're here for two segments with you. Want to obviously talk about the great things with the Cape School District. Obviously, you're moving on and want to kind of look back at some things that you're really proud of and talk about the future a bit. So thanks for being here for a couple segments with us. There's a lot to get to, and we'll continue our conversation next with Dr. Neil Glass. That comes up next on Cape Chronicle.
People think that online degrees are very daunting and they're very nervous because it's in your hands. But it actually gives you the power and the flexibility to be able to complete those tasks whenever you have the time to do it. I definitely wish SEMO keeps expanding those online degrees because they're beneficial. They made or break my career.
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. We continue our conversation with Cape Girardeau Public School District Superintendent Dr. Neil Glass. Well, Dr. Glass, I know July 1 you hand the reins over to a new superintendent, but so let's just take a minute to look at some of the things that have been a part of your tenure. Whenever I was looking at some of the list, one of the things that kind of comes to mind, and one of the things that I feel is what I would say is almost a reinvigorated Tiger pride. And I think no matter where you're at, having pride in your public school system is just so important to a community. And I feel that that's happened under your watch, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. I couldn't agree with you more. I feel the Tiger pride just every day as I walk the halls, and whether the elementary buildings, junior high or high school buildings. I mean, the kids are proud to be there, and the community's proud to be a part of it, and that's what I've enjoyed during my time, is seeing how that's evolved, and the more that the business partners have become engaged, and a lot of other partners have become engaged, and we really have become this community that's kind of been united,
sure,
so to speak.
Absolutely.
And I feel really, really good about that.
Was that kind of a goal for you when you took over in 2017? Is identify ways to grow that? Yeah,
I think it had been started. I had a great mentor, Dr. Jim Welker, very, very good man, great superintendent. And I had the opportunity to learn under him, and I very much appreciated that. But we still had work to do, and we still have work to do, But I think the partnerships, I value those immensely, with the city and the chambers, of course, and there's so many to list. I can't imagine listing them all because I will leave somebody out. But we just have so many partnerships, and they're so interconnected that it's what makes this community great. And it rolls right into the school system, and those kids are a part of that. And so without that, we wouldn't have the pride that we have. And so with that, it just strengthens us as a district. I know in your time, 3 bond issues have passed, and that is not an easy task. It just seems like yesterday we were trying to pass our first one. One had been passed for quite some time. It was like in '99 or something of that nature when the CTC and the high school were built. But it had been 10 years since they passed one. Our first one was a $40 million bond issue, and that was my first experience with passing a bond issue of that magnitude. And we did it fairly well. And I think we got a lot of bang for our buck, so to speak, and got a lot of nice facilities out of it, and a lot of things that goes back to Tiger pride, a lot of things for the kids to be proud of. But $72 million worth of investment that the taxpayers made for our students, and they've embraced that. Our students are taking full advantage of that, and we've still got more construction left. We just opened up the Aquatic Center, the JE Community Center, which is more than a pool, and we may get to that, may not, but we've got a lot of great things going, and it's about connecting this community and giving these kids opportunities. You brought up the Jefferson Elementary building and that project, which I know, again, was not an easy task, no. But talk about that partnership with the city and the school and the efforts and the fruits of those labors that are to come. Absolutely, and that was a lot of people coming together that under one vision, and that vision was to create an asset in the Jefferson Elementary attendance area that would be a focal point for that community, and we call it a community center because it's more than a pool. There's going to be a lot of education going on there. We hope that there's a lot of STEM type activities going on in that pool. plus life-saving activities. We're going to help the city with lifeguarding and training of those lifeguards. And of course, just your swim lessons of our kids. We've already started down there with Jefferson Elementary, and you don't know how many lives you've saved just because you've provided a kid a swim lesson. You hear of drownings every summer, and we've got a lot of bodies of water out here, so that's very important to us. So, just to have that exposure again, with a facility like that means a lot. There's been so many people take advantage of that aquatic center down there, and also the gymnasium that we built right next to it. It's been a real nice addition to the Parks and Rec department. They've utilized it quite a bit, and it's been a great partnership for us.
I know the graduation rate has also improved under your guidance.
Yeah, we focused heavily on that, and a lot of credit goes to our principals and our faculty and staff. They spend extra hours and extra time, and I can't give them enough credit. They go above and beyond to try to help these kids in any way they can, and failure's not an option in their eyes. And so we want to make sure that each kid has the opportunity if they want to. Now, it takes some want to as well.
Sure.
But if they want to graduate, they're going to be able to graduate.
So let's look real quick to, I mentioned there's not much time in school left, but also not much time with you as superintendent, and Dr. Howard Benyon will be taking over July 1. Talk a bit about him as the next superintendent.
Yeah, so we're kind of going to unveil him tonight at the junior high school, and he's a great man. He's worked underneath me for 4 years. He's very familiar with all the school districts, about the visions we have for the public school system, about the partnerships. He's already on a couple different boards. He's a great fit for this community. I feel like it's in very good hands. And I think one of the big parts of a good leader is that you leave a good succession plan. And I think that's what we've done here.
Will he be following up with your snow closure videos?
I can't speak for him more than that, but he's made mention that he may try to upscale me on that.
Upscale?
Yeah, so
try to
we'll
upscale
see.
you some.
We'll see.
So with that, any idea what the future holds for you at this point?
The sky's the limit. I'm still young enough where I can go out there and start another career. I'm excited about that. There's a lot of opportunities out there. I'm already dabbling in a few things, but doors are open, and I'm just going to wait to see what God brings my way.
Just under a minute here left. Can you identify a proudest moment as your time with the Cape Public Schools? I know there's a lot of them.
There's so many. I mean, it's crazy. It's the relationships that I built, though. Of course, as a superintendent, you surround yourself with great people, and those great people, you have to rely on them to do great work. And those kids that I see every day are an embodiment of the great work that those folks are doing, and that's what makes me proud.
So when you're not working to lift up the school district, to support the school district, what are some hobbies? What do you like to do in your downtime?
Yeah, so I've got a couple farms, and I like to work on the farm a little bit. I got a few real estate properties that I'd like to go and just piddle around on. I like to kind of flip properties. That's
sure.
kind of my downtime is trying to be the Chip and Joanne, if you will. Although I don't think I'm near as crafty as they are. But anyway, that's what I enjoy. I just like working with my hands and just kind of disengaging from a lot of the stress that comes with just the daily operations of being a superintendent.
That takes a lot of time. That's a committed hobby.
It's a committed hobby. That's right. My wife will tell you that as well.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you, Mike.
As I said before, you've done so much to build that Tiger pride, and best of luck in the future with whatever you decide to do.
I appreciate that very much.
You bet. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We've been talking again with our Superintendent Neil Glass. To wrap up the show, we will speak with Cape Girardeau School District Athletic Director Tyson Moyers. That's all next on Cape Chronicle.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seats for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. Tyson Moyers is the District Athletic Director for Cape Public Schools. He previously served as Cape Central High School AD for 3 years before being promoted this year. Recently, he was recognized as a Certified Athletic Administrator by the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association, and the MIAAA named him the 2023 Missouri Athletic Director of the Year. Tyson, that's quite an intro. Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you.
I appreciate it. I'm very blessed. I appreciate it.
It's good to have you here. We were talking beforehand. So you were at Cape Central as the athletic director. So that job has kind of morphed into the entire district. Is that correct?
Yes, I moved to the district athletic director's job this year under the guidance of Dr. Glass and the board. We saw some needs across our district. Our participation rate was really low at the high school, and in the way we looked to boost that was improving our participation rate at our lower levels, 3rd through 6th grade, to be able to try to increase that later on as they got into the high school level. Now, I'm not the high school athletic director. Andy McGill currently is the high school athletic director.
Okay.
So when I moved into that position, he took over as high school AD.
And some of those things that you've been doing, I know you're kind of groundbreaking to a degree with how you partnered with the city and some of the grade schools.
And I can't say enough of the Cape Parks and Rec department and their leadership. We came to them with this idea, and it's changed some things about how they go about it. I mean, you coach in the leagues, you've seen some of those changes, but they've been great about making some adjustments where we can get more of our students participating at those levels. We've been real fortunate. It's really taken off this year. Obviously, we want to grow those programs. We've had our basketball programs this past winter, where we had a boys program at each of the 5 elementaries and 3 on the girls side of it. And then at the middle school, we had 6 boys teams and 5 girls teams. So that was a great start, and then we just rolled right into soccer and baseball and softball and track this spring. So those numbers have been really increased from what the city has seen in years past. So we're really proud of that.
And as you said, the goal is to increase participation at an early age.
Yes. Involvement in athletics is a proven driver of success for behavior, attendance, and success after school. We see that across the board. Many studies have shown that. So what we want is the ability to expose our kids to those at an early age, so they will participate more at the junior high and middle school levels, and we can see that success for those students as we go forward.
And I would imagine with there being, there's travel teams, there's a lot more avenues now for someone to participate. But again, like we were talking with Dr. Glass about, playing for your school, there's something special about that.
That was part of the initial process we talked about. It's like, we want those kids to have pride that they're play for Blanchard or play for Franklin or play for Clifford, any of our 5 elementaries. And then when they get to the middle school, yes, they come together, but they're still, there might be the CMS Orange or the CMS Black. We want that community pride within our schools, within our elementary schools and our middle school. The other thing the city has seen, and we've seen as we've attended these events, the number of our parents that are showing up and watching these events has skyrocketed. It's awesome that our community members are also coming to basketball games and softball games and all of our sports to support their kids and members of their other schools.
Are parents kind of the primary coaches still at that young age?
Yes, we have leaned on a lot of our parents, but we also use some of our high school coaches, our junior high coaches. Some of our teachers in our buildings have stepped up and taken on those roles. That's always the challenge. So if you want to coach, you're more than welcome. Make sure and contact me. I can put you in a spot, I promise you. So we're always looking for coaches. We're always looking for quality coaches to help lead our students. So yes, that's the main group of people that are coaching our kids, but that's usually what happens within our youth programs anyway. So we welcome that because they're connected to those students as well.
I know, as you mentioned all the statistics that show, the benefit of being involved in sports. I think it also goes back to that Tiger pride that we talked about. When you have a strong athletic program along with the other programs that are strong as well, it just kind of galvanizes that community even more around the district.
No doubt. I mean, the athletics are the front porch of your school. All right, that's what people see the most of. They see it in the paper. They see it on KFES and throughout our community. That's what they see the most. I mean, you look at the success we've had this year with our football program, our boys basketball program, and other programs throughout our school that highlight such a great and put a great light on our school. And that's not the only great things that are happening in our schools. I wish people could see all of the things that our teachers and our students do on a daily basis, because it is really, as Dr. Glass said, fascinating at how much work they put in and the good things that they are doing, not just in the athletic world, but in academics as well.
We'll use that kind of that front porch, front door, analogy. It helps highlight the other things just whenever the focus is more on the school. And when you have a wonderful basketball team or football team, you can't really buy that marketing,
Well, I mean, you think about it. Yes, we had a great season in both football and basketball, but what else were we able to do? The football team's playing there in the stadium. Well, the marching band is playing there as well. Our JRTC, our cheerleaders, our dancers, all those things are getting highlighted as well. So even though the football is the main focus, the game is the main focus for both football and basketball, there are other things that are also getting celebrated as part of their commitment.
Just about 45 seconds here left. So I know you said 3rd and 4th grade right now is where you're at. You're hoping to maybe grow that into the even younger grades?
We're talking about expanding some of our programming down to 1st and 2nd grade. We haven't finalized those plans. We've talked to the city with it. They're on board. But just targeting those sports that we're already involved in. Currently we do basketball, soccer, track and field, baseball, softball. In the fall, we'll be doing football in partnership with the city, as well as volleyball. So, in the ones we're already involved in, we'd like to expand those to 1st and 2nd grade, but that's something we're still finalizing.
And if you're a parent in the school district or a new parent, this is something that you will let them know about. They'll register through the school.
Yes, our Final Forms website is what they'll go through to register the school. Then they'll get emails from me, basically letting them know, hey, this is when this is your coach, and this is when they're going to set up practice times, and that's the avenue we use to communicate. Yes.
Now, do you get called coach around the district, or are you?
When I first came in as the athletic director, I coached for 19 years in my previous role, and that's just what I'm used to being called. So I said, hey, just keep calling me Coach Moyers. I'm not an athletic coach anymore. I feel like part of my job is coaching the coaches, but it is a special moniker to me.
Sure.
I mean, coaches I still call them my coaches that I had in high school. I call them coach. I don't call them anything else, because that's a special profession.
Well, Tyson, congratulations. Obviously, we heard the awards that you have accumulated, and starting this program at the public school level with the City of Cape. Congratulations and best of luck.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate you.
We've been talking with Tyson Moyers. Again, you've been watching the Cape Chronicle. It's a collaboration between the Department of Mass Media at Southeast Missouri State University, the City of Cape Girardeau, and River Radio. Our executive producer is Eun Jeong Lee, and I'm Mike Renick. Thank you for watching.